Hello, Moment friends! Anding here for another episode of the epic story. When we last left off, we were getting ready to go and take out all these Haradrim scouts, which I have already done, and then we heard this call of a terrified woman who apparently is this lady, which we will now talk to.
I saw another invader nearby. He crept that way around the wall.
I watched you fight those evil warriors, hero, and I wanted to thank you for making safe our lands. But that is not all. For if you leave now, you'll leave us in peril, for our gods can't do anything. I saw another of these invaders nearby. I think he fancies himself a sorcerer of some sort, for he carried many unsavory trinkets and muttered strange incantations under his breath. He crept that way, around the outer wall of Ironos. Alright, let's go find this guy. Here we go. Haradrim Sorcerer.
The great master we follow gives life unending to those who faithfully serve.
You may slay my men, hated man, and you may end my own life, but you will have no lasting victory. The great master we follow is a giver of gifts, and he gives life unending to those who faithfully serve. You could slay all the corsairs to a man, and all of my own people, but the commanders of the master's army will always return, even in death. You will never triumph, especially without your hairball. Alright, well, good news is that hairball is back. The sorcerer breathes his last, but his mocking smile remains. Time to go talk to Aragorn, who apparently is just still at his camp having a good time. Alright, Aragorn.
What troubles you? Share it with me, and we will bear its burden together.
You found the Haradrim that fled from Pelagia? Very good, Staftang. I hope this will keep word of our victory here a secret from the enemy. But something troubles you. Share it with me, and we will bear the burden of it together, my friend. You tell Aragorn of the sorcerer's words, that the commanders of Sauron's armies cannot be stopped, even by death. I confess to you I have heard these whispers as well, my friend, so I cannot banish the fear of them from your mind. But it does not change my resolve, and I believe it will not change yours either. We place a greater value on life than does our enemy, so every loss pains us all the more. But that is our strength as well, for we fight even harder to protect it, even beyond our limits. Aragorn smiles. Ours is not the real quest, Staftang, for even if we have all the success we desire, the enemy will remain. The real quest is elsewhere, my friend, and only its successful completion can end Sauron's evil forever.
There is much to be done, and little time in which to do it.
We still have our own parts to play, and I deem it important that we play them well. I wish to sail up the river on the deck of the corsair ships, and come by that route to the aid of Minas Tirith. It is my hope that we will arrive in time, and with such surprise that we can strike a blow to the fighting will of those who threaten the city. We do not have much time to prepare, but there are a number of tasks I have given my friends to perform that will help us forth as quickly as possible. Help them with these tasks if you would, for every moment we hesitate is a moment the enemy would relish. Alright, we now get to help with 4 different quests here.
I want to know the hazards of the Anduin before we put upon the water.
Aragorn hopes to sail up the Anduin on the decks of the corsair ships, but we are not watermen, and if we are to do this, we will need every advantage. To that end, I sent Amlan to the city to look for maps of the river that might aid us in the endeavor. If you are willing, Return to the city and help Amlan find such maps that might prove helpful. Peligir is the great port city of Gondor, and there must have been much use of the river for the trade and passage. Surely some maps can be found that chart the hazards and bends of the Anduin. I believe Amlan was going to begin his search in the market's ward. Alright. You are really winded, buddy.
I am still weak from my stay within Saruman's dungeons. Exhausted and frustrated.
I do not know what I am doing, Stafdang. I could do little more than stay atop the horse Daggeras provided me on the ride from Rohan. I'm still weak from my stay within Saruman's dungeons, and even lifting a sword leaves me fatigued. I'm exhausted and frustrated. I volunteered to help load the ships with supplies, expecting to struggle through and beyond the unfair limitations of my strength. But Radenir took my place and sent me back here. My face was red with shame, but I must admit he was right. I need to rest and recover my strength. Curse the traitor wizard! Find Radenir and help him carry my share of the supplies onto the Corsair flagship. You will find him in the West Garth, by one of the bridges that leads to the court of the Ship Kings.
There is much hardship ahead of us.
I like this land, Stafdang. It reminds me of the Twilt Wilds, far away in the north, where my heart remains. The wooded slopes encircling Lake Nuniel must be slowly shaking off the grip of winter, and in a few weeks the leaves of the trees may begin to fight through the remaining chill. No winter lasts forever, and the coming of spring will banish even the coldest of memories. Will this war be any different? Calenglad stands silently for a short while, musing over the question. Eventually he smiles, and gives you a conspiratorial wink. Radenir told me you agreed to treat him to a meal and drinks at a tavern of your choosing, once this is all over. If you have no objection, I would like to join the two of you there. I will look forward to that happy meeting. But there is still much hardship ahead of us, and with all my musings, I forgot to tell you something. Halbarad wanted me to send you to him. He has returned to Peligir already. If you leave now, you should find him just inside the northwest entrance to the city.
Did you fight in the battle?
I was stricken with a great fear as the shades of death joined the battle, and I confess to you that I felt a great urge to run from them, as the Corsairs did. And yet, before my heart betrayed me, and I succumbed to the terror, I felt a hand upon my arm. I was reassured. Do you know who it was? It was Celeriant, the young ranger I took under my wing in Ered Luin. He is not as young as he was, and this journey has put some steel in him. It was an honor to stand with Aragorn, and the presence of Celeriant was a comfort. I am proud to call him brother. When the Corsairs fled, many of them cast their weapons to the ground. Mandan went ahead to gather up the fallen blades. Find him at the northwest entrance to Peligir, and help him with the task. For there are many weapons to be recovered. Oh, joy! Alright, well the good news is each of these quests seems fairly simple, so we should be able to do them without much difficulty, so let's go and do it.
The Corsairs cast aside their weapons when they fled.
Oh, Lenglas sent you to check on me? That was quite unnecessary, Stafdang. Mandan scowls. Well, perhaps it was a little necessary. You see, I began to gather some of the weapons the Corsairs cast aside when they fled, but it was slow work, and I decided my own skills might be better used elsewhere. You know of my talent for the fashioning and applying of salves, of course. There are many wounded folk who could use such treatment, and I would see to them immediately. Anyway, Kerliant was gathering up the weapons already. You're welcome to go down to the docks and help him with that task, if you would like. Always passing on work to other people, I know you Rangers.
The appearance of the dead men may weigh heavily upon some members of the company.
I would follow Aragorn anywhere, Staftang. And standing here with the smell of smoke on the air and the memory of battle still fresh in my mind, I feel as if I have done so. I did not blanch when he led us through the dim Holt Road, nor when we emerged from the mountain with the shades of dead men all around us. Still, I am glad they have departed. It is not natural for such men to linger in this world. An elf once told me that death is a gift for all men, but I did not understand what he meant until today. I think now he was right. The appearance of dead men may weigh heavily upon some others of our company. Gullidir in particular seemed distraught by the passage under the mountain. Find Cornir somewhere to the south of here, and see if he knows where Gullidir can be found. The two of them are rarely apart.
Looks like Tekeron owes me some coins.
We had a friendly wager concerning what would happen first. Lothrindir returning to try and carry these crates, or you showing up to carry them in his stead. I have never doubted you for a moment, and now you've won me some coins. I thank you for being so honorable and predictable. Radnir laughs. These need to go to the Corsair flagship, for that's the one that has the most room. Tekeron is waiting for the supplies on the flagship moored at the large southern dock of the Market Ward. You can't miss it. It's the big one. Alright. Here we go. No, at least we get a speed buff. That is nice. Alright, here you go. Tekeron reluctantly thanks you for the supplies, though it lost him a wager. Yeah, you're welcome, buddy. How fares the Shire, do you think? I have no idea, buddy. Probably not very good. Yep, you're working real hard, aren't you, buddy? Collecting all those swords. Were there really this many Corsairs in the battle? Oh my. Yes, buddy, there were.
If I'd never see another crate, it will be far too soon for me.
I've been fruitlessly searching for maps ever since the battle ended, Staftang. If I never see another crate, it will be far too soon for me. I have searched all the crates in this area. The only place I have not yet searched is to the northeast, at the very tip of the Market Ward. I do not think any of those crates will have river maps in them, but just to be safe, we should search them anyway. Alright, buddy. This crate does not contain that of which you seek. No kidding, it contains a rat. You find some folded parchments in this crate. Maps of the Anduin's course. Well, there you go. We once again did stuff the Rangers can't.
I can ascertain little from these maps, but Orthon will fare better.
You found some maps of the Anduin? I cannot believe it. It is always the last place you check, or the first place you never checked, is it not? Emlyn takes the map from you and peers at it for a moment. Well, I see Peligir here and Osgiliath up there, which means that these 4 black lines here must be the Anduin. But what do the marks in the river's course mean? I cannot ascertain anything useful from these maps, Staftang. I think you should bring them to Orthon, for he is a master of lore and should be skilled at reading maps. Not that you wouldn't be skilled at reading maps being a master of lore yourself, but he's probably more skilled. He's probably skilled as well. I think you will find him to the southeast, somewhere in the court of the Ship Kings. I think I am feeling better already.
I see you had more success with the weapon gathering than I did.
But I, too, have done some good. These folks were fortunate I was here to see to their wounds. I know the plan is for us to leave this city, and it is important for us to do so. But we should try to help as many of the people here as we can. I will put these weapons into a barrel and ask Kelliant where he wants it brought. But you should return to Lenglas and tell him I will be on short rations for the rest of our journey. I wish to give a portion of my provisions to some of the families the attack from Umbar hit hardest. Alright, good for you, buddy. You're a good ranger.
I am not in the mood to talk.
This has been a trying experience for all of us. I hope you do not mind. As you turn to go, Cornir holds up his hand. I am sorry, friend. I am fine. With what can I help you? You tell him that you are looking for Goladir, and thought he might know where you could find the ranger. Goladir is the cause of my ill temperament, and I have no desire to speak with him any further. Do you remember the fell mood that seized him in Angmar, before the Grey Company was assembled? I thought he had left it behind him. Indeed, it seemed that the journey was doing him some good. But it returned again in Tor Morva, only to be overcome by the gentle laughter of the Dunlending girl Winda. But like the rising and falling brimstone pools of the Melantad, his ill mood has returned after a short time at a low ebb, and now he shouts at his own dear friends. If you seek him out, know that I left him standing on a dock to the south, looking out at the water. I will not be held responsible if he treats you unkindly, for it seems he does not know his friends. Alright, more barrels to carry, our favorite task. Oh, and we don't get a speed buff with the barrel. Okay, I see how it is, game. Tekeron thanks you for the supplies.
It pains me to see Lothrandir so weak, so tired.
Hold a moment, Staftang. Did you know that Radonir and I had a bit of a friendly wager? It was just to amuse us during the tedium, and I do not want you to take it too greatly to heart. You see, I wagered that Lothrandir would return to the city and finish the task of loading the ships, instead of you. But I did not mean to disparage your strength or ability. All know of your great deeds and the help you have provided to us on this journey. No, I base my wager on how hardy Lothrandir always appears. He chose to live in distant Forchel, after all. Such inhospitable places breed stalwart men, and Lothrandir was strong to start. He is the toughest ranger I have ever met, and, well, perhaps that is the reason for my wager, Staftang. I simply could not believe that Lothrandir's strength could be taken from him, but Saruman has turned him into a shell of his former self. Such treatment in the dungeons of the wizard could kill the lesser man, I have no doubt, but it pains me to see Lothrandir so weak, so tired. I think I have wagered against you with the hopes that it was not so. I'm sorry for taking up so much of your time, my friend. I wanted you to know. Alright, well, thanks for sharing. That's really sad. Okay. Well, 2 quests down, 2 to go. Speaking of sad things, time to talk to Goladir now.
Yes, what do you want?
Are you here to chastise me for leaving Cornir unkindly? He has been a sharp thorn for these past few days, constantly asking questions about my well-being. He should have expected a rebuke. There is an angry fire in Goladir's eyes, an unfamiliar, smoldering rage. I know why, Staftang. Around the matters of the dead, they treat me with delicate gloves. They look at me and they see my daughter, Lornil. My grief was strong and will never truly pass. But this treatment fills me with such an anger, I would strike them all down. Cornir, Halbrand, even my own chief, Aragorn. He falls silent. When he speaks again, his voice is a little more than a whisper, and there are tears in his eyes. I do not know from where this anger comes, Staftang. Feels as if I hear voices of the past, unflagging and unrelenting, calling my name, taunting me. I will master these voices. I've been troubled by these feelings ever since we began this journey, and I have managed to stifle them. It has become more difficult of late. Perhaps because of the unnatural skies, the evil presence of the dead men. Do not worry about me, my friend. I will apologize to Cornir, and my outburst will remain between us, I hope. Yeah, sure, just don't go all Boromir and we'll be fine.
What a fine gift! I did not think you knew of my interest in cartography.
Yes, with what can I help you, my friend? What do you have there? You hand Othron the maps of the Anduin, and with each one his smile grows. What a fine gift, Saftang! I did not think you knew of my interest in cartography. It is a vanishing talent these days, I am afraid, but I have done my best to craft maps of the lands through which we have travelled. This will be a great help in improving the accuracy of my own efforts in this field. Not that they are in great need of such improvement, but I believe there is always room for honing one's skills. Oh, this gift has a more practical purpose. I will, of course, study these maps on the river closely, and give my findings to Aragorn, so we may travel the Anduin as safely and as quickly as we can. The Ranger Faron, standing nearby, beckons you to speak with him.
I overheard your conversation with Orthon, and have a suggestion of my own.
I hope you will bring it to Devron, for I know he has the ear of Aragorn. I urge that he not fly the standard of the king when we sail the Anduin. I have trained many light-fingered folk in the art of burglary, and I know the value of surprise. Sometimes it can make all the difference. If he keeps secret to the fact of our departure, and the manner of our travel, any foe we face may put off its guard upon our arrival. My heart tells me there is value in this. Please tell Dervion my message, Staffdig. Alright, well I think this is a good place to end off this episode. When we return, we will go to Aragorn and tell him everything we've learned. But that's not till next time. Thank you everyone so much for watching, and I'll see you again real soon for another episode of The Epic Story.